Consciousness is both our awareness and our ignorance. Our everyday perception misses more than it captures, leaving out important elements that could help us feel better if we could only perceive them. By increasing our awareness and refining our consciousness, we could find greater peace. The core truths are hidden by our consciousness. Our senses filter reality. Our eyes see only a small part, and our ears catch only certain sounds. To expand our understanding and consciousness, we need to create tools and instruments to observe what's otherwise invisible to us. Humanity became dominant on Earth through our ability to connect and work together. Even if civilization were to reset, like reloading an old save file, communities would form again. Societies naturally develop because of our diverse cognitive abilities. Some of us are good at critical thinking, others at artistry. Despite our differences, we share fundamental traits. While other animals also form societies, humans stand out for our adaptability. We can shape our identities and transform ourselves. Unlike animals or other life forms on Earth, whose consciousness is still uncertain, our self-awareness allows us this potential for change. Think about it. I know my own thoughts and feelings, but how can I be sure you or anyone else shares this experience? I can't enter your mind and see things from your perspective. Your thoughts are a mystery to me, just as the ability to think is. To truly understand the universe and experience life fully, we must let go of our sense of self. Constant bliss is an illusion, a high that can't be sustained. Your life is shaped by the ego you've built, even if you don't acknowledge it. You might prefer to see life as something that happens to you. You go through non-blissful periods to appreciate the moments of bliss. You experience struggles to enjoy the satisfaction that comes when things improve. Dualities like self and other, light and dark, death and life are part of existence. You can view your existence as fundamental, not just an accident. At the core, you are made of the same essence as everything else. The elements that make up you are the same ones that form the universe. If you can step back from your beliefs and sensory limitations, you'll start to see things as they truly are. Ask yourself, do you see yourself as a victim of the world, or as an integral part of it? Love comes from letting go of the self. As you lower the barriers you've built to keep others at a distance, you reveal your true self, becoming an open book, ready to be filled with new love. In sports like football, soccer, or basketball, the goal is to keep the ball moving, passing it quickly. Life is similar. Keep things dynamic. If you define yourself only by your ego and actions, you see yourself as a victim, as if a higher power placed you here against your will. But consider involuntary actions like your heartbeat. Do you consciously make it happen, or does it occur on its own? These actions happen without your understanding or control. Words can't fully capture this truth. As someone once said, everyone is fundamentally the alternate reality, not in the traditional sense of God, but as a fundamental self. You embody this essence, even if you pretend otherwise. A mind that questions, who am I, why am I here, often forgets where these questions come from. Your consciousness often leaves out important details. It can perceive the world and process sensory input, but frequently neglects what lies behind these perceptions. It doesn't dig deep enough to find the source of these questions, not realizing that the answers are found where the questions arise. The brain is our command center, enabling us to explore the universe in realms we can scarcely imagine. But to embark on these journeys, we first need to explore within ourselves. Take the Big Bang, for example. You might think of yourself as just a tiny human in a vast universe. But if you rewind time, everything condenses into a dense point. The atoms that make up you are the same fundamental elements of the universe, the same ones that formed stars, solar systems, and planets like Earth. Roll back far enough, and you were there at the very beginning. You are part of that origin. We often see ourselves as mere humans, living on a planet we never chose. Yet each of us has played a role in bringing this existence into being. We continue to act as if we didn't, due to how we define ourselves. Do you see yourself as a victim, or as an integral part of the world? It might sound cliché, but every person you meet is a fragment of the universe, a product shaped by billions of years of cosmic design. Despite this, we persist in viewing ourselves as separate, disconnected beings, a fundamentally mistaken perspective. We often seek to understand the origins of the universe, not realizing that we are simply the universe trying to understand itself. To grasp this, we must shift our perspective and recognize that we are not as distinct as we believe. Your name, given at birth, along with your ideas and personality, are accumulated from the world, fragments that stick to you like a magnet. So, what part of you is truly you? We are all unique manifestations of consciousness, but fundamentally we are the same. Different egos, different personalities, but when we set aside our egos, we see our inherent interconnectedness. Imagine the universe as a forest, with each of us as a twig, a leaf, or a branch. Together, we create life. Our origins, our roots, are intertwined. Just as tree roots form a network that sustains a forest, humanity's roots come from the same source. Energy cannot be created or destroyed, only transferred from one form to another. Many of us fear the end, the idea that our existence will cease. While your life will end, your energy will continue indefinitely. Yet our consciousness deceives us, almost hypnotizing us into believing that we are all that exists and that our end is absolute. This belief leads to dissatisfaction and discontent. But the universe is continuous, and since you are part of it, you too will continue. Your death is not the end, it is merely the end of your ego. Many experience this phenomenon, known as ego death, even while alive, often through psychedelic substances such as LSD and psilocybin mushrooms. Ego death isn't about self-worth, but about the philosophical ego, the complete dissolution of subjective self-identity. Everything you believe yourself to be vanishes. You become devoid of emotion and detached from everything around you, from what constitutes your sense of self. The very concept of being a person loses meaning. Words like I, me, and myself become irrelevant. Normally, we divide the world into self and not self, but during ego death, this distinction blurs. I ceases to exist, leaving only pure awareness. In this state, the accumulated thoughts and emotions of your lifetime are put on hold. It's as if you stand on the edge of a cliff, gazing into an infinite void. Your life stretches up the mountain until you reach this precipice. Beyond is the unknown. Ego death is the leap into this void, leaving behind everything familiar. It feels as if you have stepped out of your body into a new entity, allowing you to perceive things as they truly are. Yet in this heightened awareness, you realize that things do not actually exist. Things are mere words, fragments of language. And language itself is just another tool we've created to understand the world. Our senses guide us through daily life, but they fail to provide true explanations, forcing us to create them ourselves. During ego death, you sever all connections to your former self. You experience an elevated awareness, a state of consciousness so profound it defies human comprehension. Words fail to capture this experience. The very tools we use to understand reality, our concepts and language, disintegrate under the weight of this heightened state. Describing it with phrases like I saw or I felt becomes meaningless. Language is a tool for articulating personal experiences, but in the midst of ego death, there is no someone to experience these things. There is no me. How then can you describe such a state? It's akin to having your slate wiped clean or your character's save file corrupted, yet you remain in the game. Ego death can be frightening, but it also holds the potential for profound enlightenment. It is both constricting and liberating, a duality of black and white. It's as if you're defining the essence of life through the lens of death. We can only become more receptive to pleasure if we also open ourselves to pain. It's a simultaneous experience of soaring and sinking, being pulled from every direction. Despite the intense anxiety that often accompanies ego death, it offers a glimpse into a reality untainted by personal flaws, daily thoughts, and responsibilities. Time seems to stand still, allowing your mind to wander freely and observe reality as it truly is. You become both the observer and the observed. Fundamentally, nothing in life truly matters. Our fear often springs from an inability to reconcile with the universe's inherent chaos, the inevitable drift towards entropy and disorder. Crafting an ego only exacerbates this disorder as you delve deeper into your personal tunnel, distancing yourself from others. Ego death is like breaking out of that tunnel, stepping back to see that all these individual tunnels, each representing a human experience, eventually converge at the same point. When I die, when my ego vanishes entirely and my body no longer resembles its current form, I will still exist in some form. Picture me as an hourglass, the sand steadily flowing to the bottom, marking the end of my personal journey. Yet, when that moment arrives, the universe will intervene, flipping the hourglass and transforming whatever constituted me into something new. We are merely temporary assemblages of atoms. Whatever identities we cling to won't endure forever. But on a larger scale, we persist. For now, embracing the journey and enjoying the ride is best. I'll leave you with these thoughts. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.